There's a silence that makes you invisible, and a silence that makes people hold their breath when you enter the room. Most men never learn the difference, and they pay the price every time they speak. You've felt it, haven't you? That moment when you walk into a room and no one turns their head. Your voice joins the noise. Your opinions bounce off walls. You exist, but you don't shift anything. They listen out of politeness, not presence. And the worst part? You start performing for crumbs of attention, smiling more, explaining yourself, shrinking your tone just to feel heard. But the world doesn't reward men who shrink. It rewards those who take up space, not with noise, but with tension. Tension that's felt in the air before you even speak. Every room you enter becomes a quiet battlefield. And in seconds, the hierarchy is decided. You may think respect is earned through words, but the truth is most people have already placed you somewhere on their internal map, above them or beneath them. And that decision is made long before you say anything. It's in the way you hold yourself, the silence you allow, the stillness you maintain. Most men rush to speak, desperate to fill the space, but those who move with weight, pause with purpose, they shift the room just by existing. You were taught to be agreeable, to sound intelligent, to respond quickly. But no one told you that stillness, real stillness, makes people lean in. No one told you that the less you chase attention, the more it chases you. This is not charisma. It's not confidence. It's something deeper. It's control. The kind that can't be faked. And the men who embody this never go unnoticed. Because gravity doesn't speak. It's felt. If you're tired of being passed over, of being the man whose presence disappears before his sentence ends, then you need to understand this weapon. It's invisible. But once activated, everyone senses it. They won't know what changed, but they'll feel the shift. Try this once, just once, and you'll never walk into a room the same way again. And if you're ready to see how it works, hit subscribe. This isn't a tip, it's a transformation. Before you say a single word, your body has already spoken for you. And it said everything people needed to place you in the hierarchy. The way you walk, the speed of your breath, how long you hold eye contact. These are not casual details. They're social signals, hardwired into the human brain for survival. You think you're in a conversation, but your brain is in a scan. It's reading posture, stillness, micro movements. In every room, every group, every interaction, we size each other up silently. Is this man a threat? Is he valuable? Is he to be followed, ignored, or dominated? And here's the brutal truth. By the time you start speaking, most people have already made up their mind about you. Your words aren't building respect. They're either confirming or contradicting the silent message your body already delivered. And when there's contradiction, they trust the body, not the voice. This is why men who chase approval get dismissed so quickly. Their eyes scan for reactions. Their tone rises at the end of sentences. Their hands move too much. They try to sound interesting instead of sounding certain. And to the brain watching them, it screams one thing: uncertainty. People don't consciously think these thoughts. They just feel them. They feel that you lack gravity, that you need something from them, that you're still asking for space in the room instead of owning it. The solution isn't louder words, it's deeper presence. You don't need to speak more, you need to broadcast less noise and more weight. And that starts by understanding what your silence is already telling the world. Most men destroy their presence the moment they try to prove it. They walk into a room with nerves buzzing beneath their skin, and the silence feels unbearable. So they talk, fast, too fast, as if their words could buy back the respect their body never claimed. But every time you rush to fill the silence, you expose something you don't even realize. You're afraid they won't listen. You're afraid the pause makes you irrelevant. So you perform, you explain, you compensate. And in doing so, you teach people exactly how to treat you, like someone who's not used to being heard. There's a reason powerful men speak slowly. It's not just confidence, it's control. Control over their rhythm, control over the pace of the moment. They let others feel the tension build, and they don't flinch. Because they know silence isn't a void, it's a mirror. And when you can hold it, you force others to confront their own discomfort. Weak men hate that mirror. They break it with noise. They speed up to escape the weight of presence. But the moment you accelerate your speech to gain attention, you've already lost power. Fast talkers are forgettable. Slow speakers are recorded by the nervous system. Think about it. The most feared negotiators, leaders, and commanders don't rush to be understood. They pause. They measure. They release words like currency. Slow, deliberate, scarce. And because of that, every word lands with weight. If your voice sounds like it's auditioning for approval, you're not commanding, you're begging. And no one follows the man who begs. There's one behavior that instantly separates leaders from followers, even in silence. The pause. A man who can pause and hold that pause without shrinking, without rushing, without apologizing for the stillness he creates, is signaling dominance at a primal level. Most people treat silence like something to be fixed. They rush to patch it, as if any gap in noise equals social failure. But in reality, that gap is where power lives. The brain is wired to avoid uncertainty, and a well-timed pause creates exactly that. It disrupts the pattern. It demands attention. It forces the other person to fill in the blanks with anticipation. Think of it like this. Every conversation has an invisible tempo, and whoever controls the tempo controls the room. If you're reacting, speeding up, trying to match their pace, you're following. But if you slow it down, if you insert space with intent, they have to adjust to you. And that's when the shift begins. The pause isn't passive. It's psychological warfare. When someone asks you a question and you wait 2 seconds before responding, you're not hesitating. You're making them wait. You're asserting that your words are worth preparing and worth receiving in silence. Their body will tell you everything. They'll lean forward. Their breath might shift. They'll blink more. They'll speak softer. They'll start recalibrating. Not because you spoke louder, but because you stayed still. What they feel isn't confusion. It's submission, and they don't know why. This is what animals feel before a predator moves. Not fear of what has been done, but tension about what could be. When your presence creates that field, when you can slow down time for others just by holding your gaze, you're not part of the room anymore. You become the axis it rotates around. And most men will never reach that level because it requires nerve. It requires presence. It requires breaking the reflex to prove yourself quickly. But if you've ever wanted to feel what it's like to reverse the gravity in a room, start here, pause, and let the silence do what noise never could. Now tell me this, have you ever tried pausing like this? What happened? Drop your story in the comments. I read everything. There's a moment in every confrontation where words stop mattering, where presence speaks louder than logic. And in that moment, the man who stays still, completely still, becomes the one everyone else orbits around. Most people leak anxiety through their body. They shift weight from one leg to the other. They adjust their sleeves, touch their face, crack their knuckles, exhale too often. Their nervous system is betraying them, revealing the inner storm they're trying to hide. And anyone watching feels it. Because the body speaks in frequencies the mind can't block. But the men who remain still in those moments, they feel like walls. You can't read them. You can't move them. And because you can't predict them, your brain goes into mild panic. It starts grasping for signals, for tells, for any sign of weakness, and finds nothing. That's when dominance begins. When your stillness makes others twitch. When your lack of reaction becomes the loudest thing in the room. And without saying a word, you've already established the hierarchy. This isn't about playing a role or pretending to be calm. It's about embodying the kind of groundedness that makes others question their own position. When you can hold eye contact without blinking, stay relaxed under pressure, and move only when it serves you. People instinctively defer to you because your body is sending a message their brain can't ignore. This man is not looking for safety. He already owns it. Stillness, in the right moment, is more terrifying than aggression. It doesn't signal threat. It signals control. And control makes people lean back, physically and psychologically. Most of the time, you won't even notice the shift. But they will. They'll talk faster. They'll justify themselves. They'll fill the silence, apologize for things you never questioned, try to earn your approval without knowing why. They're not reacting to your words. They're reacting to your presence. This is what power feels like before it becomes visible. It's not in what you say. It's in what others feel when they're near you. A tightening, a recalibration, a sudden awareness that the room is no longer neutral because someone just showed up who doesn't flinch. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever experienced that kind of tension from someone? Or better yet, have you ever caused it? Drop it in the comments. I want to know what it felt like. Power isn't just about how you enter a room. It's about how you leave it and what stays behind after you're gone. Most men wait for the polite moment to exit. They linger, nod, smile, thank the other person, and quietly dissolve from the frame. And they wonder why they're forgotten so easily. Because their departure, just like their presence, lacked weight. But powerful men don't ask for permission to leave. They decide when the interaction ends. And they exit with the kind of silence that makes people pause, as if something important just left the room. This isn't about rudeness. It's about signaling finality. The subtle shift of your body that says, "I've said what I needed to." The glance that cuts through small talk. The movement that says you're already on to the next thing, without rushing, without excuse. And the most powerful exit of all, the look back. One last moment. No smile, no nod. Just a pause, a glance, cold, unreadable, direct. You don't need to say anything. Because what they feel in that second will last hours. They'll replay it. They'll wonder what it meant. They'll feel like they missed something. Like you knew something they didn't. People don't remember what you said. They remember what you made them feel. And when your exit creates more tension than your entrance, that's when you've truly mastered presence. Most men never get there. They spend their lives trying to be liked. You're here because you want to be remembered. So leave them with silence, with weight, with the sense that something just shifted, and they're not sure why. If that's the kind of presence you're building, subscribe now. This isn't a channel, it's a silent order, and you don't ask to join it. You prove you belong.